One of the most mysterious questions in pool is how do you aim, how do you make balls consistently? And I hear this question so often. What aiming system would you recommend? What aiming system are you using? Please make a video about your aiming system. Guess what, guys? Today is the day I'm going to reveal my super secret aiming system to every single one of you. But I'm sorry to disappoint you, I'm not using any aiming system at all. Instead, I'm using an alignment system. So, if you are looking for a super fancy aiming system, then maybe this video isn't right for you. But if you want to learn how to make balls consistently, then maybe this video will help you. Well, first of all, why am I not using any aiming system? Well, in the beginning, to be honest, I used the ghost ball aiming system, which is basically imagining a cue ball and then aiming to the center of the cue ball. And this works, especially for beginners. For more information, check the video in the top right. But when we're putting spin into the equation, and spin is used very often, and I'm not only talking about left and right spin, also high, low, at different angles and so on, then the ghost ball aiming system doesn't work 100%, and any aiming system is really difficult if you're putting spin into the equation, because there are so many different factors. For example, the speed that you're hitting, the amount of spin, the cue elevation, the cutting angle, because we have spin-induced throw, cut-induced throw, we have deflection, we have swerve, and so on. So it's just huge. It's just has so many factors, and that's why I don't like to aim my balls. So when I'm having a shot like this, for example, I'm not actually thinking about where I have to aim. I think about how I have to align myself. Well, how does this work? First of all, you want to have as much information as possible about the shot, and with that I mean, what angle do you have? So where do you want to send the one ball? So we know, of course, we want to send the one ball into the heart of the pocket. So I'm stepping behind the shot, making myself an image of what shot I'm facing, and then I'm just going behind the one ball and I'm aligning myself. So I'm not thinking about the cue ball has to hit the edge of the one ball or 2/3 of the one ball and so on. If I would do that, as I mentioned, I would completely miss the shot. No, I'm just stepping behind the shot and I'm aligning myself. Well, I see the big question mark over your head. How should you know how you have to align yourself if you have absolutely no reference? And in pool we have thousands of different shots, so how should you be able to know every single one of those shots? Well, in reality, it's not that difficult. I'm going to use the ICA training system to show you what I'm talking about. So here we have a straight-in shot, and this is a 0-degree cut. And we're going up to a 80-degree cut, so you can see this is already very extreme. Of course, it's possible to cut a ball 89 degrees, but we're just going to 80 degree because it's not very common to cut the ball more. So this would mean we have 80 different shots, and this is still a lot. It's a bit less than 1,000, that's true, but 80 is still too much. So let's break it down again. We have this 80-degree cut, then we have 70, 60, 50, up to 20 or 10 degree. And now, if you're able to make all those shots, 10 degree, 20, 30, and so on, then you're very likely to also be able to make shots that are in between. So for example, a 15 degree, 27, 48, and so on. So basically you just have 8 or 9 different shots, and if you're able to play those shots, then you can pretty much adjust everywhere in between. So it's not that difficult. So let's take this 40-degree shot. And of course, the cue ball and object ball are not always at this position on the table. Sometimes they're also here, but you can see this is still a 40-degree cut. So it's absolutely the same shot as on this side. It's just mirrored, by the way. Or take this shot, for example, just a 40-degree cut. Or maybe even this. Looks completely different than those two shots, but still a 40-degree cut. So when you're learning to align yourself and to play shots, then it's just very important to know what cut you're having, and you don't have to know the numbers, but you just need to be able to send the object ball into a certain line. So how do you learn all these angles and how to make the shots? Well, very easy. Just use the ICA training system to create something like this, or use the stickies for your table, set up certain shots, then just make yourself an image. Where do you want to send the 9 ball? Don't think about how much of a cut it is. Then just align yourself, go down. Remember how it looks, that's the most important part. Don't just pull the trigger, go down, remember how it looks, and be able to shoot straight. And you can see here we hit way too full. But this was actually not bad that this happened, so don't judge it in a negative way. Because now you learned, if you're down and the shot looks like this, then the 9-ball will go into this direction. So now you know you have to adjust, aim a bit thinner. So again, align yourself, go down, shoot straight, remember how it looks. And now, again, nothing bad happened here. Now you know if the shot looks like this, then you're sending the 9-ball into this direction. And just do it over and over again and you will get used to all of those angles. And of course, I'm not a big fan of aiming systems, but the good thing about aiming system is they can actually help you because they give you a reference of how the shot looks. So it won't happen that you're aligning yourself and the shot goes to here or here if you want to shoot it into the side pocket. So aiming systems can actually help to have a reference. So do your calculations, whatever system you're using. I was using the ghost ball aiming system. But then, very important, when you're going down, when you're aligning yourself, don't just trust your calculations. Make sure to remember how it looks and then just shoot straight and then you will be able to make balls. Alright, by the way, if you're interested in the ICA training system, a very cool system where you can create all of this. Took me literally 10 minutes, not even 10 minutes to create all of those diagrams. Then check the link in the video description. And by the way, you should use the bonus code Sharivari to get my Essential 7 Drills by Sharivari, and I have 2 more modules for the system, but more information in the video description. So let's get back to the aligning system, or just aligning the shot. We already talked about the baseline a couple of videos ago. I'm just going to repeat it real quick. I'm a left-hander. The baseline is basically my alignment line, so in which direction I want to shoot the cue ball. So if I want to shoot the cue ball towards here, this is my baseline. My foot is on the baseline, my left arm, my cue, and I'm just aligning myself and going down. So let's step behind the 1-ball, make ourselves an image, get behind the shot, aligning ourselves, just getting a feel for the shot. Pool is a game of feel, very important. So I'm behind the shot, I'm on the line, on the so-called baseline, I aligned myself, then I'm just going down, doing a couple of pre-strokes, and I'm just making sure to cue straight. And I made the ball without actually thinking consciously about where I have to hit or where I have to aim. So this is something that sounds a bit weird because I know a lot of players and beginners want to have strict rules, a clear system to calculate everything. But as I mentioned, you just gotta feel the shot in pool and you don't want to start calculating. So very important, let's do it once again. Align yourself, get every information you have. Step behind the shot, feel the shot, visualize, very important. And just go down on your line, do your pre-strokes, and cue straight. And this also works, those are easy shots of course, also works with difficult shots like this. Let's say we want to make the free ball into here or here, let's make it here. Difficult shots, I like to look at the shooting line of the free ball from behind. Then I'm just aligning myself, so you're pretty much aiming or aligning while you're standing. Then I'm on the baseline, just stepping into the shot. And I made the ball. So I'm a pretty good shot maker without using any system. And I talked to a couple of professional players because obviously I'm not a professional player and they're not using any aiming system at all. They're pretty much doing the same, just trying to align themselves. And yeah, that's pretty much the key to successful shot making, consistent shot making. Of course, you want to take care of your technique. So for example, if you're aligning yourself right, but you're adding unintentional side spin, your cue wiggles to the left, to the right, then you have no chance to make the shot. But with a proper technique, straight stroke, aligning yourself properly, you have a very, very good chance. So let's make a bit of an experiment here. Let's put it like this. So I'm going to align myself, I'm going to step down without any pre-strokes, I'm going to look away and we will see if we aligned ourselves correctly on the shot. So this is a bit of a test to see if you're able to cue straight, to hit center cue ball, and if you can align yourself properly. So let's see if this turns out good or bad. So I'm going down, I'm aligned myself. Now I'm going to look away. And we made the ball. So we know we aligned ourselves correctly. We didn't do any pre-strokes. So this is a good indication of a good technique if you can do this with looking away without any pre-strokes. And yeah, what else do I have to say? I'm sorry to everyone who was expecting a super fancy aiming system. As I mentioned, there are just too many factors in the game that make aiming systems very, very complicated. I remember the time when I was doing some research for a video about aiming system, and I actually started thinking about where exactly do I need to aim, and I really had a tough time making any shots. So as long as you're bringing all of this in your muscle memory, by repetition of course, you will start to make balls consistently without calculating anything. And yeah, let me know, are you using any aiming system? Are you doing it the same as I'm doing it without any system? Or what is your process to aiming or to aligning your shots, and how were your results? Do you have experience with aiming systems? I'm open for every input you have, so just let me know in the comments, and I hope this video was helpful for you. So nothing else to say. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks to my sponsors. Thanks to everyone who's supporting me. That's it for today. Thanks for watching, guys. And as always, see you at the next lesson. Take care.